Political Action Committee. But we have a caller. It is our favorite caller, our seminar caller. Seminar caller, welcome back to the Regular Joe Show. Tell me what do you have for us on the Epstein files? You must be pretty excited about this week.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the Epstein files. It's terrific. So I made I'm sure some of your listeners, they probably in their everyday comings and goings, run into radical lefty soy boy libtards with all their Epstein talking points. So I came up with a list of things that your listeners, all 7 or 8 of them, might want to use when
I'm curious,
with
real quick,
things.
if you don't think I have listeners, why do you call in to try to get your little 2 cents worth of nonsense in? I mean, do you just have nothing better to do with your time?
All right, I get it. I know you have like 15 or 16.
I mean, you're the one that calls here. I don't call you. I mean, you've got what, 4 people following you on YouTube? I mean, why are you I know you want to get your little jabs in. And I mean, in terms of them listening to libtard soy boys, your terms, not mine. I mean, we do let you on the air, so they do get to hear from them every once in a while, but by all means, proceed.
Yep. So here are some things that your listeners can use when confronting these things. If someone says to you, look, hey, just, Trump was married 3 times. Just because you're married 3 times does not mean you're a pedophile. Just because he cheated on all of his wives, that's not good, but it doesn't mean you're a pedophile.
So wait, hang on. Now, I see where you're going with this. So you've been, I get it. No, allow me. You're feeling deflated because you're going to have your big moment this week. They're going to have the vote. They're going to release everything, and it's going to be the big nothing burger. And so now you're pivoting. You want to make this about Donald Trump when I thought this whole thing was about the fact that we knew for a fact that Donald Trump was being protected. He was in there getting involved with underage girls. You suddenly have changed your talking points.
These are talking points to use until the files come out, okay, because they're not out yet.
Okay, but when they come out, what are you going to do when there's nothing in them? By the way, you do know, I'm just curious because we're going to hit a break. You do know that President Trump came out officially and said, by all means, let's release all the files. There's nothing to hide.
I'll believe it when it actually happens.
Well, I mean, you don't believe that he said it, or what don't you believe?
Can I give my talking points for your listeners? I think.
Well, hang on. We had to break. I'll give you a minute or 2 after the break. I want to be fair. I thought we were going to have a dialogue, seminar caller. I mean, you're the one that brought up the Epstein files, and you're not talking about the Epstein files. You're talking about Donald Trump, so let's stay on topic. Because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democratic hoax perpetrated by the radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great successes of the Republican Party. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein, are looking at various Democrat operatives and their relationship to Epstein, and the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. All I do care about is that Republicans get back on point, which is the economy, affordability, our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in recent history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investment in America, the rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men in women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. So there you go, SC. I thought you'd be excited to know that President Trump is fully on board with the release, which is why I suppose you don't want to actually talk about the files. You just want to attack President Trump.
You remember when he said if he wasn't Ivanka's father, he would date her? That doesn't make him a pedophile.
What about Joe Biden showering with his daughter? What does that make Joe Biden?
Do you remember when Trump?
No, it's a serious question. What is that?
Pageant?
What does it mean? Joe Biden. See, again, you want to talk about generalities and just made up things. Joe Biden's daughter wrote in her diary, which has been certified to be her diary, that he used to shower with her when she was a teenager. What do you say about that?
Just because he bragged as the owner of the beauty pageant, he had to do inspections of
so you have
room.
Nothing to say about that. You're just going to drone on. I'm just curious because you're very concerned about Donald Trump's sexual predilections. Joe Biden, one of your demigods, showered naked with his teenage daughter. Do you have any response?
Throw Biden in jail. I couldn't give a crap. Why would I care?
Did you vote for him?
Yes.
So you voted for the guy that showered with his daughter. Now you're okay with him being thrown in jail. But back then it was okay because you didn't like Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. And if Comer and Jordan in their 9 months of BS investigations had actually found something, great. Throw Biden in jail. I'm not in a cult.
Well, I don't know. You seem to be in the Epstein cult. You keep talking about the Epstein files when you know there's nothing. Let me ask you this, just because you brought up the Epstein files. Now, I know you want to drone on about how much you hate Donald Trump, but I think we've pretty much established you hate Donald Trump. Do you know who Representative Stacey Plaskett is? Are you familiar with her? She's a Democrat.
Remember
That's why.
When Trump pressured
no.
the
Hey, Seminar Carlos, do my show. Do you remember? Do you know who Stacey Plaskett is? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, she's a shadow representative from the Virgin Islands, which means she has no actual authority or power, but whatever. They want to make people feel good. We have one from D.C.
Sounds very relevant.
It is relevant. I'm glad you said that because in 2019, during a congressional hearing, did you know she's a Democrat? Did I mention she's a Democrat? That during a hearing where she was questioning Michael Cohen, who's Trump's former lawyer, about Donald Trump, do you know who was texting her in real time, telling her questions to ask in areas they thought they could exploit and hurt Trump in that hearing? Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, so let's talk about, since we're talking about Epstein and we're talking about people involved in Epstein, here we have actual relevant documents where he's texting her in real time what to ask and how to hurt Trump. So is that the behavior of somebody that was like best buddies with Trump and they were hanging out on the island with all the underage girls? Or is that somebody that obviously doesn't like Trump and is trying to hurt him? And for that matter, why are you not upset that during a U.S. congressional hearing, she's being fed questions by a convicted pedophile? But that doesn't seem to bother you?
Isn't it nice that Donnie made all those wonderful arrangements for his friend Jelaine?
So in other words, you have nothing to say about the real fact. You want to make stuff up.
Isn't that nice of him?
What did he do for Maxwell that makes it so special to anybody else that works with the government and turns over evidence? Are they not usually given something in response to they're put into a safer prison, whatever it might be? Maxwell, what is your obsession with Trump? Here I'm telling you, a United States representative who we have the actual evidence was being fed questions in real time by the guy you say you don't like, Epstein, but you don't really care about Epstein. You just look at it as a cudgel to try to hurt somebody you're obsessed with.
Can you cite an example of a prisoner who has been convicted of a violent crime being moved to a low security prison against all prison regulations? Can you cite an example of that?
I could find one, I'm sure, if I did the research, but I don't know the relevance to. So hang on. I just want to make SC. Let's work together here. I get it. You want to find whatever you can to try to make Trump the bad guy. We got it. You hate Trump. You talk about not being in a cult. You live in a cult of obsession with Donald Trump. You live and breathe Donald Trump more than any conservative or MAGA member I've ever seen. But that's okay. You can get help with that. But my question is, the relevant question here, you have a sitting member of Congress during a hearing being fed questions by a convicted pedophile, and you don't give a damn about that because it doesn't hurt Trump, right? That's why you don't care.
Joe, I get it. If Trump went out and killed 1,000 puppies this afternoon, you would come out and go, well, it was an accident.
No, you see, but then, again, you're make up things. I'm giving you a real thing. I gave you two real instances. I gave you Joe Biden showering with his naked daughter. You're okay with that. I gave you a situation where the convicted pedophile that's at the center of all this, the actual bad guy in this, Jeffrey Epstein, was feeding questions to a member of Congress, a Democrat member of Congress. You don't give a damn because it doesn't hurt Trump. So you don't care. And you say, I'm in a cult. You don't even know what a cult is because you live and breathe in a cult. You are the lead cultist. All you do is spend your day calling radio shows to try to beat up on Trump in some vanity. Do you really think you move the needle at all on anything? Do you think anyone does anything but mock your absolute stupidity? You come on here and say, well, what about Trump? And what if he killed puppies? And what about the fact the guy you just admitted you voted for showered with his teenage daughter and you're like, yeah, but it's okay because he wasn't Trump. You're a disgusting human being. You're an abysmal excuse for an American. Oh, I'm okay with it because it's just not Trump. But if it's Trump, but I'm not in a cult, you are the leader of the cult. Get help, man. You need help. I mean, I gave you plenty of time. Oh, what if this and what if that and what if this happened? And what if he walked on the crack? Would it break your mother's back? I bet it would because he's Trump and I hate him. And he's horrible. I just want everyone to know I hate him. But I'm not in a cult. I call national radio shows to vent my spleen, but I don't have any problems. Dude, star 988. Make that your next phone call. It'll help you. 888-737-1737. That's the national hotline for mental health, just in case everyone's wondering. Star 988. I really hope look, we entertain the calls because I frankly find it to be enlightening to let the world see this is what the left is. They call us cultists. They spend every moment of their day obsessed with Donald Trump. I tell you, if I took the amount of time I thought about Donald Trump in the past 6 months, it wouldn't even come close to what they spend thinking of him in a day. It's abnormal. It is really, it's borderline scary. And then when they get completely caught dead to rights because they have nothing, literally nothing, then they have to make up well, if he killed puppies, okay, let's talk about that too. I mean, that's what he was reduced to. Now we have a sitting, by the way, this is breaking news from the weekend. Sitting member of Congress who's questioning Michael Cohen, another scumbag, by the way. It's not like I care about Cohen, but she's being fed questions by Jeffrey Epstein. No, he's the big man bad, right? I mean, that's all. We have to expose the Epstein files. This once again lays bare the complete lie that is the Democrat Party. They don't give a damn about Epstein. They don't care about his victims. They don't care about making anything right. The only thing they care about is using people to try to hurt their political enemy. And in this case, it is their obsession. It is Donald Trump. And proof of that is the fact that this guy wouldn't even respond. You have red-handed. It's her text messages. They've now been reported in multiple outlets over the weekend where she's having a back-and-forth conversation during a United States congressional hearing with a convicted pedophile who's feeding her questions on how to try to make Trump look bad. Which, by the way, the other reason they don't want to talk about it is it, again, blows up their narrative of this Trump-Epstein brotherhood that was going on that never existed. President Trump was one of the secret witnesses against Epstein in his first trial. Not so secret anymore, but I mean, this is all out there. They don't like the facts. They're like a vampire being shown sunlight. They pull up their little cape and go hide in their coffins. I mean, whatever. He can do what he wants. All right, Dale's on the line. He's been waiting patiently. Can I understand, Dale, you have a